Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Kirksville City Council. Glad to have folks here with us tonight, and of course those who are watching online. We've got, of course, many people participating, but you'll notice that Councilmember Walston is not here with us today. Also, we're waiting for the online arrival of our City Attorney, James Clark, and if we have to pause for a moment to bring him in digitally, we'll work on that one. We'll go ahead and start our meeting tonight with our vision and mission statements. Our vision statement: the City of Kirksville will create a welcoming and thriving community as Northeast Missouri Center for Education, Commerce, Health, Recreation, and Culture. Our mission statement: the City of Kirksville offers opportunities for building quality of life and meaningful community through ethical and responsible government. I now ask that you join me for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. I now ask that you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Go ahead and review the order of tonight's agenda. Mary, are there any recommended additions or changes this evening?
So I do want to bring one change to your attention. That's on item number 3. It refers to it as the Transportation Assistance Program. It's actually the Transportation Alternatives Program. The city clerk does have a corrected resolution to that effect.
Okay, very good. Anything else recommended, Mary?
That is it.
Okay, we'll see nothing else. I'll entertain a motion and second to approve the order of tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Councilmember Bansal, second from Councilmember Steele. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The order of the agenda is approved. Let's move on to approval of our minutes. I'll entertain a motion and second to approve our minutes for our regular session meeting held on the 9th of February 2026.
So moved.
Councilmember Gardner, second from Councilmember Steele. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The minutes are approved. We're going to move into our information presentations and public hearing section tonight, and I have a proclamation that I'd like to read regarding National Engineers Week. Whereas engineers use their scientific skills and specialized knowledge and skills in creative and innovative ways to fulfill society's needs. Engineering has been called the invisible or stealth profession because of everything around us and things we use every day have been engineered in some way. Yet we may not see the engineers behind the scenes or know much about engineering. Founded in 1951, National Engineers Week is dedicated to ensuring a diverse and well-educated future engineering workforce by increasing understanding of and interest in engineering and technology careers. E-Week is a formal coalition of more than 70 engineering, education, and cultural societies with more than 50 corporations and government agencies dedicated to raising public awareness of engineers' positive contributions to quality of life. E-Week promotes recognition among parents, teachers, and students of the importance of a technical education and a high level of math, science, and technology literacy, and motivates youth to pursue engineering careers in order to provide a diverse and vigorous engineering workforce. The City of Kirksville would like to acknowledge engineers across the City of Kirksville in honor of National Engineers Week, observed February 22nd through the 28th. And now I'd like to bring forward some of our own engineering staff as we get together for a photo on this. While they're coming forward, I want to highlight had an opportunity to go out to the public meeting that we had about the Mill Street improvements, where we had our own engineering team out there to talk about it. We had some of our contracted engineers on site as well. And one of the great things about being able to tell a story through good engineering about what's going to happen, what's going to occur. At one point, a local citizen turned to me and said, "Oh, well, I've got questions, but you're not an engineer, clearly. What can you do?" And I said, "Well, it just so happens we've got one right here." So it worked out pretty great to be able to have somebody to share the story, what's going to be happening in our community. So I want to thank you both and your whole department for the good engineering work that happens here in the city of Kirksville. And we'll do one of these here. Thank you all very much. We'll now move into our action items this evening, which will start with action item number 1, City Clerk reading of Bill number 2026-04.
Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to execute a co-location agreement with the Kirksville Area Chamber of Commerce, updating the reimbursement payments for the administrative assistance time from monthly to quarterly.
Thank you for that reading. Is there a motion and second to approve on first reading?
So moved. Second.
Councilmember Steele, second from Councilmember Bansel. Our staff report tonight will be with Mary Maycumber, our city manager. Good evening, Mary.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the City Council has already authorized a co-location agreement with the Chamber. They had been occupying 304 South Franklin, which is just kind of catty corner from us. They relocated into our Economic Development Alliance at 315 South Franklin. And what we have discussed here is the Chamber has requested that they reimburse for the administrative assistant on a quarterly basis as opposed to monthly. The other thing is that we took the first year to figure out how many hours. Where we've landed is that each entity down there will have 10 hours of the administrative assistant's time. As far as fiscal impact, over the course of the calendar year, fiscal year, the Chamber will pay about $15,500, which equals about $3,800 quarterly. And so that's basically the biggest thing was just the change in how we charge them for the services.
Mary, thank you for the report. Any questions or comments from council this evening? Any citizens' input on the matter tonight? Then we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is approved on first reading, so I'd now call for City Clerk's second reading of Bill number 2026-04.
Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to execute a co-location agreement with the Kirksville Area Chamber of Commerce, updating the reimbursement payments for the administrative assistance time from monthly to quarterly.
Thank you for that reading. Is there a motion and second to approve on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Gardner, second from Councilmember Steele. Any additional council discussion? Any additional citizens' input? We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion is approved. I'll go ahead and note that our city attorney, James Clark, has been able to join us. James, good evening. Glad to have you here with us tonight. We'll go ahead and move on to action item number 2, which will be City Clerk reading of a resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, accepting the proposed scope of work from Arc Images, Inc., St. Louis, Missouri, and further authorizing the city manager to execute the contract for services needed for the police and fire stations.
Thank you for that reading. Is there a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
Councilmember
Second.
Gardner, second from Councilmember Steele. Staff report is with Mary.
So, good evening again, Mayor and Council. The city entered into an agreement with Arc Images back in 2023 after doing a competitive request for proposal process. Arc Images focuses largely on emergency services facilities. They have done quite a bit of the work for the police station, a little bit of the work on the north end, but with the change in the focus of how, from one station to 2 stations, some additional work is needed. And so we're asking the council to continue that relationship with Arc Images.
Mary, thank you for the report. Any questions or comments from council tonight? Any citizens' input on the matter? And we'll go ahead and take it to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is approved. Move then to action item number 3, City Clerk reading of a resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, approving the bid of M&M Utilities LLC, Chillicothe, Missouri, for the construction of the Flats Trailhead Connector Project, TAP 3700-214, funded in part with the Missouri Department of Transportation Transportation Alternatives Program grant and subject to the approval of the granting authority.
Thank you for that reading. Is there a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
Councilmember
Second.
Gardner. Second from Councilmember Bansel. Staff report tonight will be with Adam Doral, our Public Works Director. Good evening, Adam.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is the first of a few I've got tonight. So this is the Flats Trailhead Connector Sidewalk, the one that's going to run down Washington Street and tie to the Flats Trailhead Park. We did get 3 bids for the project. The lowest is M&M Utilities out of Chillicothe, Missouri. They've bid on a few of our projects. This will be our first project with them. They did come pre-qualified from MoDOT, and we checked with some references, and by all accounts, they're capable of doing the work. So we recommend awarding the project.
Adam, thanks for the report and for the research on that one. Any council comments on the matter?
I'll be excited to get this underway. I think we've been talking about this for a while, so it'll be good to see it in action and finished shortly.
Absolutely. Any citizens' input on the matter tonight? We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is approved. Let's move then to action item number 4, City Clerk reading of a resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to approve the purchase of a 2026 Caterpillar PM 312 cold planer with options and attachments from Altorfer Cat, Hannibal, Missouri, using the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program.
Thank you for that reading, Diane. Is there a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
Councilmember Steele?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Bansel. Staff report is again with Adam.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council again. So this is the purchase that we've been discussing with the milling machine. We've rented one or leased one for 3 or 4 months every summer for the last 4 or 5 years. One nice thing about leasing it, even though we are going to go ahead and purchase one now, is we got to try out a lot of different machines, which was actually very good. So we kind of knew what we wanted when we went into this and knew what manufacturers that we liked. So this project or this purchase is coming in under budget. We had $750,000 budgeted for the purchase. Purchase price, as quoted, was $589,000 and change. So that leaves a little over $160,000. Pending any questions, I ask that you approve.
Adam, thank you for the report. Questions or comments from council?
How long does it take to get this type of item?
Don't know what the lead time's going to be. They did, I believe they had one that we could get fairly quickly, but that was back in probably December when we
Right.
were talking to them about that. So
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see.
Ears open.
I'd like to say thank you for getting something coming in under budget. I appreciate that.
don't thank me yet. We got another one to go.
I'm going to use those savings for something else here in a minute. Any citizens' comment on the matter this evening? We'll go ahead and take it to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is approved. It's going to bring us then to action item number 5, City Clerk reading of a resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the purchase of a 2026 Caterpillar AP 655 asphalt paver with options and attachments from Altorfer Cat, Hannibal, Missouri, using the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program.
Thank you for that reading. Is there a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
Councilman
Second.
Gardner, second from Councilmember Steele. Staff report is with Adam.
All right, so this is the purchase of a new paver to replace our existing one. It was a used machine when we purchased it, I believe 6 years ago. So we've gotten our money's worth out of that one. This one, we did have $550,000 budgeted. The cost of it came in at $580,000. So we are a little bit over budget, but based on the savings from the milling machine, they're in the same budget line. So that will work itself out.
Excellent.
So the two together, it's still under budget.
Oh, yeah, 131,000. Yeah.
Any council discussion on the matter? Any citizens' input? We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is approved. Let's move then to action item number 6, City Clerk reading of a resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the purchase of a 2026 Gorman Rupp 6-inch submersible pump and power unit from Hydrokinetics Corporation, St. Louis, Missouri, for the wastewater treatment plant.
Thank you for that reading. Is there a motion and second on approval?
So moved.
Councilmember
Second.
Steele, second from Councilmember Gardner. Staff reports with Adam.
All right, so this one is a pump that we use to pump down our clarifiers at the wastewater treatment plant. If you've seen those, they're about 18 feet deep. The pump that we have out there isn't really suited for that purpose. It's a lot easier to push water up that high than it is to try to draw it up or suck it up with the pump. This is a submersible pump, so the pump itself will be lowered down into the basin. It's powered by a power unit that stays up on top. It's hydraulically powered, and so it'll be able to push the water a lot better. It'll be a lot more efficient, and we won't wear out seals and gaskets and a bunch of other problems that we've had with the current pump. This power unit we can move it around and use it for different pumps, so the plan is in 27. We have a similar situation at the water treatment plant with our clarifiers out there that we have to pump them out. They have a pump that they've been getting by with, but also isn't ideal for the purposes. To purchase just a pump at the water plant, and then we can use the same power unit for each one of them. It was noted when we gave our presentation before that the existing pump that we have now will be traded in. It doesn't have a lot of hours on it. It's fairly new. We haven't had a lot of success selling pumps like that on Purple Wave, and they gave us a pretty good trade-in value for it.
Very good. Adam, thank you for the report. Any council questions or comments? Any citizens' input on this matter? We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is approved. Take us then to action item number 7, city clerk reading of a resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the purchase of a 12-inch diesel-driven pump from Hydrokinetics Corporation, St. Louis, Missouri, for use at the Northeast Lift Station.
Thank you for the reading. Is there a motion and second for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Bansel, second from Councilmember Gardner. Staff report is with Adam.
All right, well, I'm sure you recall about 2 years ago, we had an emergency lease of a pump for the Northeast Lift Station after the transfer pumps had failed. We're still using that rental pump. We're thinking we're going to need it at least for a few more years. At this point, then it makes more sense for us to not lease it anymore and just purchase a pump. So we reached out to the supplier that brought in the rental pump and got a quote from them. It's a little higher than we were expecting, so we reached out to another supplier and found another pump that they had actually sitting there ready to go down in St. Louis that pretty much meets the exact same hydraulic conditions and will be a good fit. That one came in significantly cheaper than the pump, the existing one that sat there. So we have $172,330. That's for the pump, startup services, hoses, valves, a few other things that we need. We had budgeted $205,000 for the pump. So I don't believe we'll need anything else for the pump, but once it gets here and it starts operation, if there is anything else that we need for its operation, we'll take it out of that line.
Very good. Adam, thank you for that report. Any questions or comments?
Is it the same quality, same manufacturer?
It's Gorman Rupp. It's a really nice pump, actually. So probably a better brand, in the market than the current one that's sitting there.
They got a better rate, so that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a good, and part of the reason we got a much better rate on that one was that somebody else had ordered the pump and then didn't get it, and so it was sitting down there, so they needed to move it, so they gave us a pretty good price on it.
Thank you.
Any citizens' input on this matter? We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is approved. It's going to move us then to action item number 8 this evening, city clerk reading of a resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the purchase of crushed rock and sand for the 2026 fiscal year using the pricing agreement from Central Stone Company, provided funds are available.
Thank you for that reading. Is there a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
Councilmember
Second.
Gardner and then Councilmember Steele with the second. Staff reports with Adam.
All right, so this is a rock that we use for lots of different purposes, asphalt machine, or the asphalt plant, to backfill for water mains, just kind of all-purpose rock. You can see there's a bunch of different types of rock. They all come from Central Stone, but they come from different quarries. Different quarries have different types and they produce different things. Central Stone owns pretty much all of the quarries around, so there isn't really anybody else to even get a quote from. So, pending any questions, I'd ask that you approve.
Adam, thank you for that report. Any questions or comments from council? Any citizens' input on the matter? We'll go ahead and take it to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion is approved. Move to our final action item of this evening, action item number 9, which will start with city clerk reading of a resolution.
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Kirksville, Missouri, authorizing the use of city funds as needed for these deliveries of rock and sand products for the 2026 fiscal year to Gugrich Trucking for KCO1 Edina QR and RB products only, and Fountain and Sons Trucking for KCO1 Edina, CS01 Huntington products, CS90 Taylor LaGrange products, and hourly hauling.
Thank you for that reading. Is there a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
Councilmember Steele.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Gardner. Adam, go ahead and take us home.
All right, so for my final offering this evening, this is our hauling services for a rock that we purchased from Central Stone. We started doing it this way last year, I believe, where we broke it up into each individual quarry location, basically, that they will haul from, and individual material. So you can see Gugrich Trucking was the low bidder for one item, or for 2 items, and Fountain and Sons was the low bidder for the other one. That way we can kind of break them up a little bit and get the best bang for our buck. I should have noted it on the other one, but I'll note it here that we do include a lot of other budget lines, not just stuff with Public Works, but also parks and other departments that could use stone so that they are able to utilize both of these contracts for stone and for the hauling. We also use the hourly hauling. We've used it for some of the paving equipment from time to time, or if we have something large that we need to move that we may not have the trailers for, then we have used that hourly hauling from time to time.
Very good. Adam, thank you for that report. Any questions or comments from council? Any citizens' input on the matter this evening? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and take it to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is approved. Adam, thank you very much. That concludes our action items this evening, which means we'll move into our citizens' participation component of the meeting. This is an opportunity for anyone who would like to come forward and address the council on any topic that hasn't been previously talked about on tonight's agenda. You're welcome to do so for up to 5 minutes time. I do ask that you introduce yourself before you begin speaking. And with that, the podium is open.
Okay, people. My name is Maggie Wilmelina. I got married Friday, and Dominic got down. I thought he had a leg problem, but he asked me to marry, so we got married Salvation Army Friday. So my name is Maggie Wilmelina.
Congratulations, Mrs. Wilhelmina.
Thank you. I was looking around. They got these apartments empty, you know. We open them up and help the homeless and let the money go through the city. That way the city has a little bit more money to help other people like police station, city hall and stuff like that. I heard on the TV or the radio, I don't know which, that the Chill Coffee got a brand new jailhouse and a brand new police station. What we could do that for the police station. Get these places open for the homeless. Let them get a job, support themselves. Then the city get the money. Because they run by the police station is open. They nail it down. We could reopen it. They're nice apartments. I've been in them. And we could open it up, help the homeless, and people that got conned out of the money and everything. We could really help people out. And then they would say, oh, Kirksville help homeless, help everybody out. And that's what we want to hear. And everything. And get these drug dealers out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there others who'd wish to speak this evening? We'll go ahead and move on then to our next section, which is council comments. Are there any comments that council members would like to share this evening? I'll note that last week I had the opportunity to attend, or rather this week. No, I'm getting all my dates confused. Last week I had the opportunity to attend an event on Just Serve for our community, which was introducing members of our community to this platform. Talked about some of the different member agencies who are utilizing this already to solicit folks who want to volunteer. I just want to encourage people to think about how they might serve in our Kirksville community and to consider utilizing Just Serve and registering on that platform. I think as we get more and more organizations that begin listing service opportunities on there, we have a better concerted effort to bring forth some good and positive community service. Also a wonderful opportunity to meet and engage with people. So I hope that's something that folks will consider. If there's nothing further, I'm going to turn it over to Mary for a newsletter review this evening. Good evening, Mary.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. So I did want to mention that I've modified the newsletter again. Hopefully the bullet points are a little more helpful for you to read. And then 2 items that I wanted to bring to your attention. On the board and commission banquet that will be, that will take place on March 30th. Don't really have a lot of time between now and then. Are you agreeable with the same format you followed last time?
Yes.
Okay, and so talking points and what have you will provide you what? Okay, all right, wanted to just make sure on
No,
that.
we appreciate the good work on that one. It was a well-done event last year, and I think if we stick with that plan, it will continue to be.
Okay, and the other thing I wanted to mention is that business licenses, we have sent those out to all businesses. They are due on March 2nd. After that, they'll be delinquent, so just wanted to put a plug out there that they're due March 2nd.
Mary, have we made any progress on the ability for those or dog licenses or anything else to be online?
So I don't know if you remember the last conversation we had with the finance director, so I think why don't we bring that back in March and get an update?
Okay.
Because it's, to be honest with you, it's moving slow for all of us.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
So
you.
we'll bring it back in March. That's all I had on the newsletter.
All right. Our next council meeting will be on March 9th, 2026, right here at 6 o'clock in the council chambers. At this time, I'm going to entertain a motion and second to adjourn into executive session pursuant to revised Missouri Statute 610.021, Section 1 for legal matters and Section 2 for real estate.
So moved.
Councilmember Gardner with the motion.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Steele. Because it's going into executive session, this will be a roll call vote by the clerk.
Councilmember Bansal,
Aye.
Councilmember Steele,
Aye.
Councilmember Gardner,
Aye.
Mayor Burton.
Aye. With that, we are adjourned into executive session. Thank you all very much for attending. I hope you have a very good evening.